Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and today I want to show you how to wire wrap rows of beads onto a form. So this is probably going to end up being a necklace, and then here I made this into an earring. So I want to show you how to create these rows. Now I've got a quick link here, which is great because whenever you're doing a project like this, you're going to need two sides, obviously, for your rows to stretch across. So a quick link or a pre-made form is great. You can also make your own forms, of course. You'll need some beads and you'll need some wire. Now you can use craft wire, you can use artistic wire, whatever wire you want. Just make sure it's really soft. I'm going to be using 28 gauge. I feel like that's a really good gauge to work with for this particular project. And I'm going to try to use some contrasting colors here so you can see what's happening. So I'm going to cut myself a length of wire. The length of wire that you need is really going to be dependent upon how many rows you're doing. If you were, say, doing little 11-0 seed beads, you're going to fit a lot more rows in there and you're going to need more wire. And of course, then the size of your form as well. Cut as much wire as you're comfortable working with. It's not a big deal if you have to add more later. You are just making these nice, tight little coils around the edge, so you can always add more later. I just want to show you this technique. So I'm not going to end up doing the entire second earring here, but I am going to show you how you do it. So I've cut myself some wire. And now what I need to do is I need to anchor my wire to my form. To do that, just insert your wire into your form, wherever you want to start. And your rows can go diagonal, they can go across, they can go zigzag, whatever you like. But I just wrapped it around the wire and I'm going to do that several times. 28 gauge is a very nice thin wire, but that also means it's not as strong as, say, a 24 gauge. So you are going to want to create a number of anchoring rounds here, and I would recommend at least 5, just so that your wire doesn't ever come undone. I'm just feeding it through and around. So however many you want. Okay, so when you're ready to add your beads, just go ahead, place them onto your wire. Add 3 to begin with. All right, so if I was stretching this across, maybe if I went over to here, 3 would suffice. But I actually want to do diagonal, so I'm going to add a 4th one. Okay, so I'm going to stretch that across to say, actually, you know what? I think I want a 5th one on there. This is all about playing, seeing what you like. There are no rules. Okay, so, yep, I like that. So I've got that one. It's stretched across, so my beads are filling my entire gap. You might want to consider using various sizes of beads so you can fill it in a little bit better. I just pulled some 4mm bicones here. But if you, say, had some 3mm, some 4mm, and some 5mm, you can really get it nice and tight in there with beads. So, as I've been talking, you probably saw I just took the wire and I wrapped it around, and now I'm just wire wrapping my form. And I'll do a couple rows so you can see this. I want my wire coils to be nice and tight, so I'm going to use my fingernail and push them together. Wire is great because you can manipulate it. I'm just going around and around. Now what I'm looking at now is I want to make sure that I create enough coils, that there's enough space between my 2 rows of beads so that my beads are not crowded and on top of each other. And let me show you. Like, I don't think this is enough space. So I'm going to add some more beads. I'm going to do another 5. So if I was to try to stretch this across, now granted I could go like this, I could do whatever I want. But if I wanted to create a row like this, well, they're a little bit crowded right there. They're bunching up and I don't really want that. So I'm going to take them off and do a couple more coils around. I think just 2 more should do. So that was 1, And this is going to be 2. Okay, I'm going to put those back on and see if they have a little bit more breathing room. Another advantage to 28 gauge wire versus perhaps 26 or 24 is easier on your fingers. When you are wire wrapping, it can get to be a little tough on your hands. So I'm going to go with that. Actually, you know what? I want a few more coils. Okay. And I'm trying to put my coils right next to each other, not on top of each other. Watch out for kinks. Okay, that looks happier to me. I mean, they're a little bit spaced out. You could make them a little closer, but that looks nice to me. So now I stretch across to the other side. I'm going to hold it in place and wrap it around the outside of my form. I scoot that coil down so it's nice and tight, and then just wrap. And you're going to keep doing this just back and forth. So keep wrapping it until you get enough of a gap that your beads are going to be spaced nicely for the next row, and then continue on to the next row. So there we've got 2 rows. We would just add another one and go back and forth. Now what you are going to notice with this particular way of doing this, you end up with a jogged effect for where your wire is. See if you can see it down here with the silver. It's a little hard to see with silver and silver, but if you are doing something with a contrasting color, you will end up with wire here, no wire, wire, no wire, no wire. And if you want to avoid that, if you want, say, your coils all on one side, what you're going to do is you're going to, let me just do it here since this is our sample piece. You can just trim the edges when you are done with your coils and then just make sure that they're flush up against the frame. All right, so if you want your coils to be on the same side, you're going to work with a smaller piece of wire. Wrap it around the same way you started. So you got that nice anchoring, those nice anchor wraps. Remember, you want to do at least 5 of them, just because this is a thinner wire. Okay, so I've got some nice anchor wraps. Get my tail out of the way. So this is just to show you an example. I'm no longer concerned with my pattern here. All right, so then I'm going to take some beads, put them onto my wire, same way as before. So on this one, I'm going to stretch it across. And now what I would do is, instead of going up, because I want my next rows to be up here, I would just look at the direction of my anchor wraps. I'm going to snip off this tail so it's not in my way. And wire wrap around the form in the same direction as my anchor wraps. So if they're down, I'm going to make these ones go down. So one thing that is nice about doing it this way is you have to cut the wire more, but you're working with a smaller amount of wire, which for some people is a little bit easier. And you don't have to worry about it getting kinked up as much. Right. So just do the same amount of wire wraps around the form on this side that you had on this side so that they're even, and then just cut your wire. And then what you would do for the next row is you do the same thing. You cut a smaller amount of wire and just stretch it across here. So you get the idea. So you can either go back and forth with one piece of wire, have this little bit of a jogged effect, or you can wrap each row separately with a smaller piece of wire and just have your coils going in the same direction each time. So that's all there is to creating rows of beads on a wire form. And then like on this one, I just finished it off with a simple earring hook attached to the form. I'll probably, like I said, make this one into a necklace.